this is Michelle. Happy Groundhog Day, happy Super Bowl Sunday, and welcome to my tutorial. As you can tell, I'm not watching the game. Unfortunately, I did not inherit the I love football gene, but, you know, somebody has to not have that, I guess. My husband is off at a Super Bowl party with a couple of the guys, and he's having fun, and I am here working on tutorials for you. And I'm excited to bring you this project. We're going to make the pet treat container today, and I am doing this as a design team project for Country Craft Creations. They gifted me this beautiful package of papers from Authentique called Purebred. And if you're a pet lover, you are going to definitely need to go pick this paper up. It is amazing. So the feel is just beautiful. I love the browns and the greens and the blues in this package. I just love the vintage flavor of this paper. And I have two dachshunds that I dearly, dearly love. So this paper was right up my alley. And I think that you're going to really like it too. So this paper is really good. It has dogs and cats on it. So whether you're a dog or a cat or both people, then you are going to love this package. I think you're going to really enjoy it. And as a matter of fact, let me show you a couple of the papers because I think you're going to love them. But like, that is the outside package, you know, paper. But like, look at the stickers on this one, which I really, really like. I like the stickers. So lots of really beautiful papers to choose from. And then like the cut aparts, oh my goodness. So like, can you, I mean, have you seen anything cuter than those cut aparts with all the dogs in them? And then, like I said, for the cats too. If you're a cat person, this paper is definitely for you as well. So go on over to countrycraftcreations.com, pick up your papers, and then let's get started on some tutorials. I know Tamra is doing some books or some projects, excuse me, with this paper, and I'm using this paper, and I've got a couple fun projects in line for you. So this is the first one. And it doesn't really require a whole lot of paper because it is a treat container. So, you know, it only takes a few. And let me see if I can find in my notes. Yeah, I think I only used 4 pieces of artisan cardstock on this. And it also requires a little bit of lightweight chipboard and some heavyweight chipboard. A couple little things, but I'll have a list of the supplies that you need in the description for this video, so you have that. But let's go ahead and get started on this project. So first off, we're going to need to have the cardstock to wrap the outer piece or the outside of the box. So you're going to need 2 pieces that's 12 by 9, and then you're going to score them both the same way. We're going to score them on the 12-inch side, so again 12 by 9, and you're going to score on the 12-inch side at 1 and at 6.5, and then turn it, and it doesn't matter which way you turn it, so that the 9-inch side is at the top, and then you're going to score at 1 and at 8. Okay, so again on the 12-inch side, score at 1 and 6.5, and then turn it and score at 1 and 8. Okay, both of them exactly the same. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my 1/4-inch score tape because we're going to go ahead and, or actually, no, we're not going to do that yet. What we're going to do is we're going to do some trimming, okay? So we're going to miter some corners here. To take that back, getting a little ahead of myself. I've had a lot of coffee today, so I'm real sorry about that. And going to just make a whole bunch of tabs on our paper here, mitering all of these corners. Okay. And we'll do that here. And here. Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday is definitely, I don't celebrate Super Bowl. I've never gotten into football. My whole family, as far as the guys concerned, love it. But none of the girls really got into it, except for my sister. My sister loves football. But I'm honestly not sure if she's watching the game today or not. So, there you go. But, yeah, I I'd rather be in my craft room no matter what's going on, so. But I guess that's a good thing about me doing this videotape and not live, because if you are a Super Bowl person, then you can watch the Super Bowl and you can watch me later. So that's okay. So, all right, so now that we've got all of these tabs made, let me get that out of the way. Okay, so now we should have 2 pieces of cardstock that look like this. All right, so we have taken out the corners and we've created tabs, top and bottom and on the sides. So then what we're going to do is go ahead and fold and burnish all of our lines. And then had a little score tape thing going on, so ignore the tab on that. All right. So folding and burnishing all of our folds. And okay, then the next thing we're going to do is on the wrong side, we're going to attach one of those tabs to the other piece to make one long piece. Okay, so I'm going to grab my art glitter glue and I'm going to put some glue on here. And then sometimes it's easier for me if I turn it over, because I don't want to get it on the score, or you know, in the score line. I don't want to get this piece of paper, so I just want to line that up right to the edge of the score and then stick it down. And then I'm going to make sure that it's stuck down really well. And wipe off my excess glue. Okay, so now you should have one long strip. This is the wrong side, okay, so this is the right side. You should have one long strip for our box. Now we're going to put some lightweight chipboard in here, and then when we're going to cover some pages, but then we're going to use this tab and we're going to fold this tab on the outside. It's going to be covered with patterned paper, so it isn't going to be a big deal. But anyway, that's where we're at this point. So we got this. So then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put down our lightweight chipboard. Okay, so this is lightweight chipboard. I got this from packaging at work for some papers. You could get this, you know, at a lot of different places. You can use cereal boxes, whatever. But anyway, this is just lightweight chipboard. It's not the heavyweight. Okay, very flexible. But once you put it with your cardstock and your pattern papers over it and everything, it's going to be great. So this is lightweight chipboard, and you need 4 of them, and they're going to measure 5 3/8 by 6 7/8. And then all we're going to do with this is we're just going to glue them down on each of these pieces. All right. So you could use score tape on here if you wanted to. That would be absolutely just fine. And then these are a little bit smaller. They're cut 1/8 of an inch smaller than the actual height of this area. Okay, so you want to make sure you center that in there in between the score lines. The thing I really like about this box is that the lid is pretty cool. I really like the way I designed this lid. You don't have to make like a box, you know, type of a thing to make the lid for this. And it stays in place. And I don't know, it's easier to open, I guess. So, I don't know. I thought it was a pretty ingenious little way to do it, so I wanted to share it with you. And at the, there we go, okay. So I'm just putting down my chipboard here, in between, or in the score lines. Okay, and last piece here. And this makes a really good size treat box too, because it's going to be 5.5-inch square and it is 7 inches tall. So it makes a really good size. So this would be a really good container for a gift if someone got a, you know, new puppy, especially of course using this paper. You could use other papers as well. To you know, make a gift box. My prototype, I used floral papers and made a real feminine type deal, so it turned out really cute. Okay, so now that we've done that, now the next thing we're going to do is for the top of the box, on the top tabs only, we're going to add some glue, and then we are going to just fold those over the chipboard on the top just to cover that top edge of the chipboard. I feel like I'm rambling in this video. I think I've had enough caffeine for the day. That's definitely for sure. And I don't know if y'all have done this or not. I was pretty thankful for having my groceries ordered, and then all I had to do is pick them up. We have a store out here called Fred Meyer. I know a lot of places it's called Kroger. And they do that click list thing where you order your groceries, and then all you got to do is drive up and tell them you're there, and they put them in your car. You don't even have to get out of the car. It was so nice, because I know with Super Bowl Sunday, that place, the parking lot was amazingly full. Even at, you know, 9:30 in the morning when I went to go pick up my groceries. It was crazy. So it was kind of nice I didn't have to fight the crowds today. All right, so we've got all of those pieces covered. All right, so then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cover the inside with our pattern paper. So let me grab the pattern paper for the inside. And I went ahead and I inked this paper because it is so pretty and vintage. I wanted to ink it. So then you're going to cut these at 5 3/8 by 6 7/8, and these are going to cover the inside of the box. Now, if you wanted to use this box as a treat container and you wanted to actually put the treats in it without having another bag in there, you could use laminating sheets over this paper. You could laminate them before you, on the one side only, of course, the self-stick kind that you can get at like Office Depot. You could just put that over the top, which would help protect the papers from the treats on the inside. Or this box is big enough to where you could put a bag inside and then put the treats inside the bag just to protect it. But I'm not going to laminate this one. I'm going to go ahead and just put them down. But that's just something to think about. And then again, I did distress ink the edges, and all we are going to do is put the art glitter glue on, and we're going to cover the chipboard piece that we just put on. Okay, and it basically is just going to cover the chipboard. And the reason why we're doing it second is because we wanted this fold over the chipboard to cover the edge, so then you have to put this over top, okay? So, look at the little paw prints. Oh my God, I just love this paper. It is so pretty. It is so stinking cute. You guys should see, we have 2 dachshunds. They are 15 years old, and they're amazing little guys. They're brothers that we got. They were 7 weeks old when we adopted them, and they have just been our babies for years. My little my little guys. And they're little. They're half mini, half standard. And one of them is, oops, brought that corner up. One of them is 18 pounds and the other one is 16 pounds. They're just little guys, and but they're getting old. But they have, the laundry room we have a fairly big one, and that's kind of where they are when we're not home and at bedtime and everything. And so we call it the Wiener World because, you know, our dachshunds are in there. And it's decorated in everything dachshund that we have collected over the years, and it's pretty funny. So our laundry room is, the washer and dryer have magnets all over them for dachshund magnets, and we've got stuff all over the walls. And yeah, so this would look really cute in there, I think, to put their treats in. Definitely be cuter than the Tupperware one that I have now. That's for sure. Okay, so now that these are covered, we are good to go with that. Okay, so we've got, now this is the inside. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over, and now we're going to put our pattern paper on the outside, but we're going to keep the one side where this is going to attach. We're going to not do that until we attach it. So I'm going to just leave it flat and do this one last after we attach it and create the box shape, okay? So we'll do the first three here. And then for that, I picked these patterns here. And again, these are also going to be 5 3/8 by 6 7/8. Okay, look at this paper. Like, seriously, I love it. And again, I distressed inked the whole thing. So let me see. I'm going to try and figure out. This one is going to be the back. So this one will definitely be like my front. And it's got little kitties on it and everything. So I think I'll save this one for the back. And let's see. Which one do I want in the front? Maybe that one. I like the dog. Look at the dogs. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our pattern paper on. So I like cats. I'm just going to tell you, all my projects are going to be dog projects. I don't own cats. I can't own cats because I am really bad allergic to them. So I like looking at them from a distance, but I can't have cats. So it's not that I'm not a cat person. It's just I can't really be a cat person. But dogs don't bother me at all. So, all right. Okay. This project goes pretty quick. It doesn't take too much paper, and the result is really cool, I think. All right, so there's that. Then we will put this one on. Love the colors in this. So cute. In my design team package, I also received some beautiful seam binding. And I don't know if you noticed, I need to show you. So some of it has pink in it too. I mean, it is absolutely, this paper line, I love the colors in this. So at my seam binding I got, which let me show you that real quick. I got some browns and I got the pink. Oh my gosh, I just love it. So I know I'm going to use those on my next project because I have ideas for that already. All right, so there we go. So these are covered. All right, so then what we're going to need to do is put the bottom on. So let me grab the bottom. That's for that, and all right. So let's grab the bottom here real quick. We are going to need another piece of lightweight chipboard, and this is going to be 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. And you're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock that are also 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. Okay, so here's what we're going to do with this. Put that down there. So I'm going to take this first one, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cover this bottom of the box. Now you can cover it with pattern paper if you want to. I just chose to use the cardstock here, and I'm just simply going to cover this on, and that should match up that perfectly. So it should just cover that. Okay, so this is going to be the inside of my box. All right. Okay. Yep, just like that. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and I'm going to, oh, I got it a little bit off. Hold on a second. I'm going to trim this just a wee bit. There we go. Okay. So then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue that down to the tab. So get that in there where you can see it. Okay, so I'm just going to lay that down on the tab like so. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my scoreboard because I want to make sure that this is square, and this is a good way of making sure that your boxes can be square if you're going to do it like this. So I'm going to push this. You can see there's an edge here and an edge here, and I'm going to put those in there so they're nice and square. And then I hope you can see this. Yeah, so I'm going to make sure that the tab is right here. Can you see this okay? Probably not with my hand in the way. So this tab I'm going to make sure is out. I'm going to fold this up. I'm going to put that in there, and then I'm going to make sure that it's all up against the sides, and then I'm going to put some glue on there, and then I'm going to lay that down. All right, making sure that everything is nice and square. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and turn it again, and I'm going to actually put the glue on here first because you can't really lift that up anymore. Make sure that's nice and square on the sides, and I'm going to push that up, and then I'm going to glue that down. Okay, and then, so that's a nice way of getting a square side, and I hope that was easy to see. I don't know if it was or not. I'm going to turn it over, and then this one you don't really have to because you already have your other two sides, so then you can just put your glue here and do this. I hope that made sense. I'm sure there's probably 100 ways of making sure that you got that nice and square, but that's what I did, and it worked pretty good. So I'm just going to go down and do that. And then I'm going to go inside the box and make sure that that's stuck down really well. Our box is coming together. All right. Then the next thing I'm going to do is put glue on this tab, and then we're going to complete our box shape. Just fold that up. Stick that down. Pressing that down really good. Okay, so there you have it. There's our box shape. So then this piece right here, you've guessed it, is going to cover the bottom of the box. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then I did not decorate the outside bottom of the box because it's going to be sitting on the counter and who's going to see it, right? But you do definitely want the chipboard, you know, covered up. So let's do that. Oops, sorry guys, I keep hitting that with my head. I need a better system for my camera, that's for sure. All right. Okay, I'm just going to go in with my hands on the desk here and just make sure that that's pushed down. Okay, all right, so then we can put our pattern paper on the outside here and finish the outside part of the box. Okay. Okay, so there we go. All right, so now our box is covered. All right, bottom is covered. Inside is all nice and covered. So there's our treat canister right there. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on the lid. Now the lid is really cool, I think, because of the way that it's constructed. So you don't have to make another box and worry about those kinds of measurements. All you really need to do is just do a couple different pieces here. And I used heavyweight chipboard for this. And the only reason I did that is because I needed the thickness of the heavyweight chipboard to make it work. So you're going to need a couple pieces. You're going to need a piece that's 6 by 6, and this box is 5.5 by 5.5. So this is going to be a 1/4 inch overhang, and that is exactly what you want. So you want it to have a 1/4 inch on each side. So 5.5 by 5.5 square box. So you want this to be 6 by 6. This is the top of the lid. And then you're going to need a couple pieces that are like the inside part of the lid. And you need 2 of these, and they are 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. Make sure that when you cut them, I just kind of tested to make sure they fit in here pretty nicely. Okay, if you need to trim them, but you want it to slide within here nicely. Okay, so just test it out a little bit. Make sure that it goes in and out and it doesn't rub too much. So then you're going to need a piece to cover the lid, the top piece, the large piece, and that's going to be 8 by 8. And then you're going to need a piece that's 7.5 by 7.5, and that's for the smaller pieces. All right, so let's work on the top piece first. So I should have probably covered this with the score tape, but I haven't done it yet. But we can also use glue, so that's okay. So we're just going to use our glue. And I usually use score tape when I do heavyweight chipboard on my book albums, but we're going to use this. All right, and we're going to use Tamara's method of making sure that we have it perfectly in the center. We're going to grab our scoreboard here, and then we're going to put our paper down, and then we're going to use our 1-inch helpers here and take our chipboard, and then this will ensure that we have 1 inch all the way around. Okay, I'm going to put that aside because we're going to use that again. So make sure that that is nice and adhered. Okay. And then we're going to wrap this just like we wrap our book covers. So I'm going to feel the edge there, and I'm just going to go around and help it get trained to where I want it. Okay, just like we're wrapping the covers. This is no different. This will not be attached to the box. The lid will be completely free from the box, so that works out really well. Okay, and then once you do that, then we're going to just help tease it along. Okay, and make sure that it's still burnished down really well. Okay, and then let's turn it over, grab our score tape. Get our score tape. Whoop. It's funny how score tape rips so easy, but it is so sturdy when you need it. If you stick something down, you are probably not going to get it up without a fight, that's for sure. All right. Okay, then we will grab our scissors and we're going to miter the corners, making sure that you have that 1/8 inch at least on the corners to do that little fingernail nudge technique that I do. And take off the score tape. I feel like we need background music. I say that all the time and I never have it. It's on in the living room, but you can't hear it. So go ahead and wrap those. All right, make sure those are nice and stuck down. Okay, then I'm gonna nudge those corners in, the cardstock that wraps the chipboard, and then go ahead and fold those over, and then do it again over here, like that, and then wrap that. Okay. There we go. All right, so our corners are nice and covered, and our, got something on my table, and our top part is wrapped. Okay, so then we're going to, let's look at these pieces here. So these are the two smaller pieces, and to start this, we want this a double thick piece, so we're going to go ahead and just join these two together. And you can use score tape for this. I'm going to use my art glitter glue. I'm just going to squish those together, make sure they're nice, and you want the double thickness here. So you really, for this lid to really work properly, you really need the thick piece there. Okay. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to wrap this as it, just like we did before. Okay. It's just going to be a double thick piece. So we're going to again grab our scoreboard, and we're going to use our little 1-inch helpers here. Put our glue on. Okay, and then set that down. Beautiful. Okay, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Where is my... Okay. Make sure that's burnished down really well. Okay, and we're just going to repeat that process. Just remembering that it's doubly thick. Wow, got a suction going on here. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to turn it over and just be careful. Do it gentle, because it is double thick. Okay, so I'm just going to go around and feel in the edges and just going around. we are going to decorate. Put a little more pattern paper on here because you have to, because the paper is gorgeous. And again, we're going to miter that around. Or miter that around. We're going to fold it around. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to turn it over again and put on our score tape. Now when you miter the corners on these, I gave it a little bit more room because it is twice as thick. So just make sure that you give it a little extra room when you cut those corners off so that you have plenty to go ahead and wrap your chipboard. And then the other thing I did too, because it was a little bit thick, is I'm going to put a little bead of glue as well, just to make sure that I've got, you know, things covered. So I'm just cutting it a little bit further away than I normally would because it is double thick. And taking off my score tape. Okay, so a little glue here, glue here. Set that down. Make sure that goes down. Okay. Okay. Then I'm just going to nudge that in again, making sure that it's covering my chipboard. Looks like it covered it pretty good. Another little bead of glue here. Okay. One more time, I'm just going to nudge that in there. Almost like wrapping a present, I guess. That's how I kind of think about it sometimes when you do the corners. All right. Then just make sure that stays where it's supposed to. All right. All right, so now the second piece is done. So you should have now, two pieces. One is larger, one is smaller. That one got attached to my score tape, which is not making me happy. All right, so then the next thing we're going to do is I picked the cardstock pieces, and these are going to cover our chipboard box. So we're going to need one for this piece and one for this piece. So we need one at 5 7/8 by 5 7/8, and then we need one that's 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to go ahead, and the next thing we're going to do is put that on. And then I'm going to decorate the lid as well. So just lay that on there. Okay. Okay. All right, so there's that one. And then we'll go ahead and do this one as well while we're at it, and then it can be drying while we do this next part. So the next part will be putting the handle or knob on the lid. And then we'll assemble the whole thing together. So the handle, or the knob, I had a whole stash of them in my stash. I have a whole bunch of them. So Tim Holtz puts them out, and 7 gypsies also. And I had some from each. So I want to say this one was a Tim Holtz one that I used. But definitely they're out there. Also at my local craft warehouse, they have them. You could use, you know, there are different ones that are out there, so you can use anything you want. If you don't want to do this particular type of method, you could also do like Tamara did in her box album that she created over, let's see, when was that? Now I can't remember, but she did one with a loop of ribbon through a hole in here. You could totally do that as well. But I like the knob, so I have my knob here. These knobs have a screw in them, and that's what attaches them through a hole. So what you're going to need for this is you're going to need a Crocodile Big Bite, okay, and a ruler and a pencil. And so on the top part only, we're going to take our ruler and we're just going to put the ruler from corner to corner and make a little mark. What we're trying to find is the center. So if you do it one way and then you do it the other way, you will find where the center of your lid is. And then that will show you where to punch your hole. Okay, so X marks the spot. So I got my big guy out here, and let me make sure I got the right one. I used the smaller hole, so the 1/8 inch hole. And I'm just going to put that in there and very carefully try and center this bad boy. And you know what I could do, because that would be the smart thing to do, is they have a little stopper here that stops at 3 inches, because 3 inches would be the center of this. And then I'm going to punch that hole like that. Okay, so now my hole is punched. And then I'm going to just put the screw up through the bottom like that. And I'm going to attach my knob. Okay, and I'm holding it down on the back side so that it doesn't slide around too much, and then I'm putting it on. So that should do it right there. Okay, so now my knob's on. So then what you're going to do is you need to glue this guy onto the bottom, and you need to center it so that it's right in the middle, and we're going to glue that guy down. Okay, so let's do that. Get that on there. And I'm going to use, I want this to be a real good stick. I want this to stay down. I'm going to put a little extra glue around that screw as well. All right, so now this goes down in here, and I'm eyeballing it, but you need to have it kind of centered. And I'm going to push that down and make sure that looks really good to me. Okay, and then if you have clamps, you can clamp the corners. Give it a few minutes here. Let's see. I have all kinds of different ones. Kind of clamp those down. Make sure that sticks really well. It's a good thing about art glitter glue too, because it works really fast. There we go. All right. Okay, so then essentially that right there is going to fit right inside your lid. And it's going to close flush with the top piece of the lid, and it's going to prevent it from slipping. And then it comes up really easy, and it seals really nice. It's obviously not going to be airtight, so you know, you can't store things in there forever as far as doggy treats go, but you will be able to have a nice lid that fits down really nice, and it won't slide off. Okay, so that's why you needed the double thickness. It fits right inside of there really nice. So there is my version of that lid. Here is my box, and now that I tipped it over and it came out. So anyways, this is my project, and that's it. We're done. All I have to do now is decorate it, and you guys saw that at the beginning of the video because I finished it. I'm going to finish it off camera, take some pictures, and then you guys will see what the finished product looked like after we did it. So this is my box, and it's intended to be a, well, let me throw that down too. Intended to be a treat box, and you can put all kinds of nice goodies in there. Makes a nice gift for someone who's just getting a new puppy. It makes a great treat holder. It's beautiful, and I think you're gonna like it. So anyways, give this a try. I hope you like it, and I will see you again next time for our next project. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.